to the weekly setups, I just want to let you guys know about what's happening right now. So there's a very strong geopolitical tension between the USA and Iran, right? So there's currently war. There's a lot of confusion really happening in the market, and I could explain this in this video, but this video is pretty much edited already. So I'll explain that on the Telegram channel. So all you just need to know right now is that these tensions in the market are going to be causing a lot of confusions between traders and even economic activities in general, right? So if there's anything that you're going to be doing as a trader this new week, just know that tensions are going to be sending people to withdraw their money from other markets and invest them on safe haven assets like gold, especially gold, by the way. So expect gold this week to be going massively, to be pumping massively. Expect silver to also pump massively, even oil and all those safe haven assets. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekly setup. So I'm going to be breaking down over 20 pairs using fxalexg set and forget strategy, and these are the best pairs we are willing to take this new week. So coming over to my screen right here, um, this was last upper week, right? We started the week with the final take profit on this trade, which was Euro AUD, and if you come over to the channel, it was this video right here, right? So the video was not complete, right? We needed the final result on this trade, and this right here is the final result. It actually finally went to take profit after it was just pretty much 2 pips to stop loss, right? So that was the first trade. Well, technically the continuation of last week's trade, right? So now let us see what we have on this pair this week. So coming to the daily time frame, you can clearly see that this market structure is still clearly bearish, right? It's still clearly bearish, as you can see. So right now price is around previous structure point on the daily time frame. So I'll extend this area of interest to the left just to see how many rejections we can get from that same area, and it seems like we don't have any clear rejections from that area. So let's just see what we have before I proceed. But I'm already sensing that we're not going to be having any trades on this market already, right? So daily time frame bearish, weekly time frame also pretty much bearish. Now, but the weekly time frame is at this point right now, pretty much at. If you are going to be selling from the weekly, you'll be selling from either here, or even here. So if you are selling, this is where you'll be targeting weekly structure point, and price is pretty much there. So that is a sign that we are not even going to be entering this market this week again. But the market structure is still overall bearish. So this market still looks like we could have a retracement to this area to potentially sell, but I highly doubt I'll be interested in this market this week. So that is the first pair, but I'm not interested in Euro AUD this week. So GBP, Euro GBP, I was supposed to call this trade on the Telegram, but I didn't want to call a trade where I know that my psychology was messed up, right? So I knew that my psychology was messed up because of NZD JPY. So that's why I did not call this trade on the Telegram, right? So I did not actually even take the trade myself. But it's pretty much what I was looking for last week. I was waiting for a break. See it here. I was waiting for a break, retracement, and engulfing to buy. And we had a break right here first. And we had a little bit of retracement and engulfing. But first of all, this is not up to 50% retracement. And secondly, the stop loss, if I'm going to put a stop loss, is going to be down here. So my take profit will be times 2 of that. So that is way too far. So I pretty much waited for a new break, retracement, and engulfing to buy this market. And this market would have potentially given us a 1:3 risk reward ratio. But I did not call this trade and I did not take it as well. Right. So, but let's just see what we have this on this market this new week. So coming over to the daily time frame, Euro GBP. Market structure is currently bullish, right? So market structure is currently bullish. The area of interest I can see right here, so I can already see a clear area of interest right here. So let me readjust it in a way that will suit me personally. All right, so I think this is very, very valid. As you can see right here, we had a rejection coming into this area, right? When we are below, we are clearly rejecting to the downside. and when we're above, we're rejecting to the upside. Right now, we are currently above, right? So we are expecting a much more deeper retracement to technically around this level to continue buying with this market, right? So that is that on the daily time frame. Daily time frame bullish. Weekly time frame, let's see. Okay, weekly time frame technically is still bearish. This right here is clearly the lower low, and this right here is the lower high. But we have major reactions on this same area of interest on the weekly time frame. So that just confirms that that area of interest is a very strong one. Coming over to the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that the 4-hour time frame is clearly bullish too as well, right? So this right here is the higher high, as you can see, and this right here is the higher low. Now, if price is coming back into this area, the 4-hour time frame is going to shift bearish, which we don't want. So it simply means that we'll be looking for our entries around this level before the shift, right? So let's look at how the 1 hour looks first before I make a decision. So 1 hour time frame, we are having a retracement. For now, I will wait for this market to kind of slow down around this level, and if I can see a little bit of slowdown here, I'll be interested in buying this market. So this market, I'm expecting a little bit more slowdown. If you can just slow down, doesn't really matter the price action that really happens here. I just need a slowdown and another engulfing as confirmation to buy eventually, right? So that's my game plan on Euro GBP this week. I'll pay very much close attention to this market to see how it goes. For now, let me add it for this week. Let me see. I'm adding it for this week. All right. So that's that for Euro GBP. So next pair AED USD. So AED USD again was another trade that we had last week, but I did not call it because I was already on NZD at the time. So this one was not really the best of the best. And the reason I did not actually call it is, let me explain why first before we proceed. You can look at this area of interest. Price came into this area and rejected down, right? It doesn't matter where inside this area, but he actually came into that area to reject down. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, right? So me having this break and the retracement and the engulfing is coming right into the area, I was skeptical that this market might actually just retreat, might just do this same thing here that happened here. It might just happen and reject to the downside. So I was not going to be risking it, but it was actually a valid trade setup. But I was not going to be risking it when I know that we are buying right into an area, right? So that was that on GBP AUD last week. But right now, let us see what we have. Daily time frame. Let's delete everything that we have there. Daily time frame. So daily time frame. Well, daily time frame is technically still bullish. It will be clearly bullish if you are above this area. So weekly time frame also bullish, and 4-hour time frame is, well, technically bearish, but if you have this break and retest above, it will be bullish. Now this market structure is looking more like a buy. It's still looking like buys to me, right? So I'm still expecting like a break retest and engulfing to buy, but here's where I have issues, right? This is one reaction from area. This is two, or this might be three. So do you understand? Like this might actually just be one reaction in total, or this might be two reaction and this might be the third reaction. So if you don't have at least three reactions from this area, it means that this area is not really valid, right? So I'll just keep my eye closed on this pair. If you don't get better pairs, I might decide whether to add it for this week or not. But for now, I will not be adding it for this week. NZD USD is the next pair. Let's see what we have. So NZD USD, I'm pretty sure we are still going to be waiting for our previous game plan, which is waiting for a break and retest under this level right here to potentially continue to potentially sell, right? So first of all, daily time frame, well, technically bullish. Weekly time frame. I think we are working with the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, we have a strong weekly area of interest, right? So as you can see, this is a weekly area where price has come back multiple times to react off of, right? And right now we are reacting from that same area. So on the weekly time frame, it's telling me that price needs to create a new low, right, to at least this last previous structure point to continue buying, right? That's the data on the weekly time frame. The daily time frame is showing stronger bearish signs, like you can see here. It's just that last week was just literally all over the place, right? But that is actually a very good confluence because we need EMA to slow down too. It just simply means that this market is pretty much ranging. So if it's ranging, the EMA will now be slowing down too as well, which will be an extra confluence when we are looking to sell this market, right? So that's what I'm seeing. Then 4 hour time frame. So 4 hour time frame, it looks like a 4 hour area of interest because it's a very valid one. We had at least one, two, three reactions from that area. So I'll still be looking to sell this market depending on how market structure works, but I'll just keep it closed right now to decide later. Euro AUD, next pair. Oh, I've already called these Euro AUDs. NZD card, the next pair. So this is pretty much similar price action to USD to NZD USD, right? So let me explain something. I think we even avoided a loss on this pair last week, right? Again, trading is not all about just making profit. You need to learn how to avoid losses. So this right here now, let me come a little bit closer. We had an area right here, which is the main area, like I told you guys, right? This right here is the main area. What we are looking for pretty much was a break and retest on that area to sell, right? So pretty much anytime when the market structure is bearish, we should be selling. But I explained why we need a break and retest under this particular area. Right now, let me see exactly why I was looking for a break and retest under that area. All right, that simply means the reason I was waiting for a break and retest under this area was because the 4 hour time frame was still pretty much bullish, right? We need um price to break under this low on the 4 hour time frame to confirm that the 4 hour structure has shifted bearish for us to be interested in selling. As you can see, pretty much nothing happened like that, right? So we never really took any trade. As you can clearly see, there's no price action under this level, by the way. So there's no reason to actually sell this market. So let's see what we have for this week to continue, right? So daily time frame right here, we still have this area. So I'll be drawing this area as our main area of interest. This right here is a weekly resistance level, like I told you guys last week. So let me go over to the weekly just to show you guys what I'm seeing. As you can see, multiple rejections from that area on the weekly time frame. Price approach that level again, has a doji and an engulfing. There's a very high chance that price might actually continue bearish to at least react from this last previous structure point, which is a very long trade and it might be a very big one. That's why I'm paying very close attention to this market, right? It has done that time and time and time again. So I'm pretty much reacting to what price is has done previously, right? So daily time frame. So daily time frame is pretty much bearish. As you can see, this right here is the lowest point price went to, and this is the highest point. So that is the higher high, higher low, right? For now, I'll still be looking for that same break and retest that I told you guys about. So I need price to still have a clear break and retest under this level to sell. So um the same exact game plan, right? So I'll bring it. Which kind of thing it is? Oh. So I'll bring it closer, or I think I'll just add it for this week, right? Let's see how the 1 hour looks. All right, the 1 hour time frame still needs way more price action for us to decide. So I'm not even sure if this price action is really going to be happening this week, right? But we'll decide. So, but the market structure is very, very clean. Depending on how the momentum opens on Monday, we'll decide if we are going to end up taking this trade, right? Next pair, we have GPP card. Now, GPP card, we are still waiting for the break and retest under this level right here, right? So, GBP card, we are still waiting for a clear break and retest under this level. So there is pretty much nothing for us to do here until we wait for that break and retest. So I'll still be adding this pair for this week to pay attention to it. Next pair is Euro USD. So Euro USD, we have been looking for buys, but I'm explaining why we still need a cleaner break and retest above this minor area right here to buy, right? So let me remove this. So here's the game plan. Price is now trading above area of interest. It has come back to area of interest to react off of that area. It slowed down coming back into area and it gave us stronger momentum. But right now we are at that area, but it's not breaking the area. It's clearly slowing down and you can clearly see engulfings on that area, which shows that the buyers on this market are very strong, right? So that is the data on the daily time frame. It shows that this area of interest is likely to hold, right? From the AME, you can also see that this market is also the EMA is also holding the market as support, right? Weekly time frame, price is at weekly area of interest, so that's why the area of interest is a very, very strong one, right? So price is at weekly area of interest is, and the market structure is clearly bullish. 4 hour time frame, what we'll simply be looking for to be able to take this trade is a simple break and retest above this level to buy. So this pair might actually be pretty much ready next week, early next week, right? So Euro USD, I'm adding it for this week. It's a very clean setup. I'm adding it for this week. Next pair is GBP NZD, right? So GBP NZD was another pair I'm pretty much supposed to call last week, but I not because I did not call this pair, not because of my psychology was bad. It's just because of the timing of the trade, right? So let me explain what I mean. So pretty much what we were looking for last week was a break and retest under this level right here to sell, right? Now you can clearly see that when price had a break and the retracement and engulfing, it actually sold. Well, why didn't I call this market? So I'll explain why. So this right here was when the engulfing was happening. If you check the dates down here, you can clearly see that the date is happening on Friday, 27th. So I don't usually when I enter a trade, I don't expect that trade to really get to final take profit on Friday, especially when I'm entering on Friday, right? I expect to hold the trade throughout the entire week, which is pretty much just going to give me extra fees, right? So that's why I did not really call this trade, but as you can see, it actually played out to the direction. So now, right now, let's see what we have. We just pretty much missed that trade. So daily time frame on GBP NZD just pretty much look like we have just totally missed the trades, right? We have already missed the trade, so there's no trade opportunities on GBP NZD right now. Next pair we have is NZD GPY. So I'm pretty much not going to be touching this market. I really want to see the final result on this trade, right? And by the way, let me let you guys know that I just added the new rule to my trading rules, right? The new rule states that as soon as that my MT5 is not supposed to be I'm not supposed to be opening my MT5 anyhow, right? The only time I'm permitted to open my MT5 is when I'm about to place the trade. So when I'm about to enter the trade or when I'm about to take profit, right? As soon as I open my MT5 during the trade, that is the breach of my rule. That means I'm breaking my rules, right? It's just a way to keep myself accountable because of all these ridiculous price movements. So this right here, when the market was coming down, I just chickened out and opened my MT5 and closed the trade. That was ridiculous because right now it seems like we are finally going to get to that take profit target, right? So right now there's nothing for me to do. I'll just be monitoring this trade. I really want to see how it plays out eventually. And I also feel that the reaction why this market reacted was pretty much because of this other block. So there's some other blocks in my opinion, that works, especially strong push to the downside, and then there's a block right there. Those kind of other blocks usually work, right? So I just want to see the final result on this market. So if you have this market and I'm not calling it because I want to see the final result, don't be angry, right? So let's just go to the next pair, GBP JPY. So GBP JPY is pretty much similar to NZD JPY, right? It's pretty much similar to NZD JPY, and I also believe that this market will continue buying. But let us see what we have here. So GBP JPY daily time frame bearish, right? So first of all, doesn't seem like I'm going to be that interested. Weekly time frame, well, I'll call it bearish because there are structure points here, right? And 4 hour time frame is pretty much bearish. So this market looks like it's going to buy from this area, but I am not interested because most of the time frames are telling me it's bearish, right? So I will not be interested in GBP JPY for this week. Euro NZD is the next pair, and Euro NZD is not the best of the bears. I remember this pair from last week. We are looking for a break and retest, which we have not gotten up to now, by the way, right? But I'll keep it close just to decide later. I'll keep it close just to decide later. GBP USD is the next pair I'm willing to pay attention to. So let me show you guys something. GBP USD, we are looking for buys on this market at some point. So let me explain something right here, just so you learn, right? So we're looking for a break. As you can see from this part, you can see we're looking for a break, retest, and engulfing to buy. And as you can clearly see that this market did not actually buy, right? So let me explain why, right? So right here, as you can see right here, we had a break, right? We had a break. So from here, we are supposed to be having the retracement, which is at least 50%, right? I explained why on my previous video. We are not following. I don't know how to beg you to follow, right? So we are waiting for a retracement, a deeper retracement to at least 50% to buy, which never really happened. So price created new higher high. And let's not forget that since this is the higher high, this right here will be the higher low. Either of these two, right? But mostly this one will be the higher low, right? So now we're looking for a retracement to potentially buy, right? But this right here, there's none of them that are engulfing candles, right? So markets pretty much shifted bearish. So this right here is not a retracement. Here is just a bearish price action, right? And since there is a bearish price action, this makes this the new lower low and this the new lower high, right? So this price action is still pretty much bearish. If you want to sell, you are pretty much going to be waiting for a retracement and an engulfing to continue selling. So that's why that break and retest, it was not valid. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as a clean break and retest, right? This is not a break, retest, and engulfing here to buy. No, right? The market structure, if you look at it, if you read it, you can clearly see that it was already bearish from here. This was not a retracement, right? So let us see what we have on the daily time frame, GBP USD. So GBP USD, this last week was a bearish one, right? As you can see, it was a bearish candle. Now this trade is not really looking too clean for me because first of all, by the way, Euro USD, I'm expecting buys on this market, on that market, and GBP USD is looking like it's reacting from this area of interest to potentially sell, right? Now let's see how the weekly time frame looks. Weekly time frame is pretty much, well, it's bullish, and the 4 hour time frame, time frame is pretty much still bearish, right? So I don't really like the price action of this market. It's just confusing. I don't like confusing markets. AUD JPY next pair. Let us see what we have. So AUD JPY daily time frame is bullish. Weekly time frame will be clearly bullish, and let's see how the 4 hour looks. So 4 hour time frame is also bullish. Now I understand what was going on here. I just expected this market to continue bullish because all the time frame were bullish, but we did not have an area of interest to buy from, right? So as you can see, that's exactly what played out. USD JPY next pair. Let's see what we have there. Daily time frame. All right, I don't like this price action. I remember when someone was calling this pair I'm trying to remember. Okay, I think it was Alex G that was calling for it. I don't like this kind of markets, right? That don't have this right here was a clean setup to sell from because it was just a volume market, right? It was a break retest engulfing to sell, right? But this selling pressure did not break under this low, right? This selling pressure did not break under this low to confirm that the market is still bearish. So this retracement is not safe to enter. It's just a thing, or I don't know what to call it, but it's possible that I could sell from here, but I don't know. It's just not clean. I don't like it. So that's why I never really had this pair for this week, and it was a loss avoided. And I'm pretty sure Alex G actually took a loss on this one, right? It was not a bad trade. It was just not too clean. I don't like it. For now, I still don't like this market structure, right? Until markets close above this high or this low, I might not really be interested in buying or selling USD JPY. USD card next pair. Wow, USD card next pair. Let's see. Daily time frame. We have a very strong area. There will be no need to delete it. So let me delete these other things just to see a cleaner perspective on this market, right? So USD JPY is bearish, came back to area of interest and is reacting from that area again, right? Okay. Now, weekly time frame, let's see how it looks. So weekly time frame, we are at there's a strong area right here. There's a strong area right here on the weekly time frame. Let me make it cover more levels. Alright, so if I come to this level right here, if I even extend it to the left, you can see that we had reactions from multiple reactions here from this area. We had another reaction from here, same thing here, same thing here actually to the T, and reactions from this level. So, well, I will not be thinking too much about it just yet, right? But it's just a thing to consider, right? Now, daily time frame pretty much came back to the area of interest, and I like when it comes back to area of interest, have multiple slowdown, and it's now having a momentum to one direction, right? Which shows that that area is going to hold, right? Now let's go over to the 4-hour time frame to see what we have. Wow, 4-hour time frame is looking very, very beautiful, right? 4-hour time frame is looking very, very clean. So as you can see right here, we have
battery is low.
okay. So now 4-hour time frame, we came back into area and you can just see a very clean shift of structure. So price is bullish, and you can clearly see as it shifted bearish, right? Now I'll be drawing a minor area of interest right here, which will be the structure point on the 4-hour time frame, right? Because this is right here the break. So we are expecting a retracement back into the last structure point to continue selling, right? And this level is also a support level and a resistance level if I draw um this part all the way to the left, right? So for now, since like we are just going to ignore this weekly time frame, it's just going to be messing up this trade, right? It's a clean setup. So now what we are looking for is a little bit of retracement, hopefully a slowdown to the area, right? And reasons to sell. So hopefully if we get to the area, we need like a doji on the 4-hour time frame just to show rejection. Then in that doji on the 1-hour time frame, it should look like maybe like a slowdown and an engulfing to enter or something like that, right? So let's see how the 1 hour will be looking. All right, for now, right now, we'll just be waiting for a retracement back into this area and then we'll sell. All we need is a 1:2 to be profitable, right? So that's all we need for this week, seriously. For now, I'll be adding this pair for this week, by the way. It's a very clean one. Next pair we have is Euro JPY. So Euro JPY, again, some ridiculous price movement, right? This is the only area of interest we can potentially see on this market. And if, let me show you, this is the only area of interest we can potentially see on this market. So I mean, if that is the only area of interest we can see, there will be no need for us to buy or sell this market for now, right? So I'm not interested on that market. GBP AED next pair, I expect this market to continue selling because that's pretty much just been selling. Let's see how the forward looks. Doesn't seem like we are going to get an opportunity on this market. As you can see, seems like we are calling for the sales right here, right? But pretty much nothing. So I'll just delete everything in the chat, but I'm not using it for this week. GBP CHF, I was calling for sales, but I was not really interested in selling this market because of pretty much all the weeks, too much weeks on this market, right? But as you can see, pretty much ended up selling, right? Pretty much ended up selling. Let me just look if I would have gotten an opportunity to sell if I was interested. So I was pretty much waiting for what? Like a break and retest under this level to sell. So from here, looks like we had an entry and this pretty much looks like a stop loss. Then multiple rejections, no um no clear direction. Here it was a bullish market, so we cannot really sell. So right here is where we'll be expecting the shift. So as soon as we have a break under this level, which was here, right, is the shift. And this right here is a retracement, but of course it's not up to 50%. So there's a very high likelihood I might not actually enter yet, right? So far we have seen one loss on this market. So the second one would have been a new break, a retracement, and an engulfing, which is this one right here, right? And the stop loss will be above this high, right? And the take profit would have been 1:2. So the first loss, let me show you guys, was this break, retracement, and engulfing right here. As you can see, would have entered on here and stop loss above this high right here. So this would this one would have been a loss. So one loss, one win, still positive by the way. So that's it. Anyway, but we are not paying attention to GBP this week. I just all those indecision, up down, up down thing. I don't like it, right? So next pair AUD card. Let us see what we have there. Daily time frame. All right, daily time frame is bullish, right? So if there's anything on the chart, I'm deleting it right now. And we have some minor area right here, not a valid area. Why? Because we don't have three reactions or three rejections from that area. Weekly time frame is pretty much bullish too as well. Daily time 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is technically bearish. That's right, Didi, right? So I will not be interested in this market because the 4 hour time frame is bearish. Card JPY, the last pair. Let's see how it looks. Alright, I'm also not interested. So let's see the pairs I'm interested in taking this week. So Euro USD, looking for a break and retest to buy. GBP, Euro GBP, looking for that same continuation to buy. So that is a very good sign because it shows that these two Euro pairs, I'm expecting Euro to be strong this week, right? So that's exactly what I'm seeing. NZD card, pretty much if you have the opportunity, we'll be able to sell. GBP card, pretty much also if you have the opportunity, we'll be able to sell. These two might not really happen very early next week, right? The ones that are going to be happening early is Euro USD and Euro GBP. So we'll still decide on the Telegram channel, right? USD card. Oh yeah, this one is going to happen very, very early next week. Potentially Monday or Tuesday, but looks like it's going to be Monday, right? So we'll decide. We'll also decide on the Telegram channel. So we have other pairs. Let's see what we are seeing here. AED USD, not so clean area, so there'll be no need to trade this one this week. Um, NZD USD, as you can see, looking for sales on this one. Let me look at how the daily looks again. All right, so Euro NZD also for sale. So these three pairs that I'm just paying attention to, they are not really the best of the best, right? So the major two pairs I'm actually calling right here, no, major three pairs I'm actually calling is Euro USD, GBP, Euro GBP, and is it GBP? No, USD card. So those are the three cleanest pairs for this week. But there are other pairs I'm just paying attention to, right? Just to see how they play out. Or maybe I might even get an opportunity on them. So it just depends. Again, I'm going to still update you guys on the Telegram channel. All you have to do, all you have to do is to come over here to the Telegram channel, click on this link, and click on this link to join the Telegram channel. Again, everything is free. I don't know why I should be begging you to really join the Telegram channel, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll make a shorter version of this video to explain the weekly setups again, right? And I hope we win next week, right? So I hope we win next week.